shadow gift, the competitive advantage of your toxic traits. Stop trying to be a good person. The world doesn't reward the virtuous, it rewards the integrated. While you are busy suppressing your darker side, someone less capable is using theirs to outmaneuver you. That friction you feel, that's not a character flaw, it's an unrefined weapon. Today, we are dismantling the myth of the toxic trait. By the end of this breakdown, you will understand how to stop apologizing for your intensity, your obsession, or your defiance. You will learn to stop viewing your shadow as a cage and start using it as a toolkit. We are going to turn your greatest liability into your primary competitive advantage. You've been told you're too much, too ambitious, too cold, too stubborn. You've spent years trying to round off your edges to make others comfortable. But in doing so, you became blunt. You lost your edge. You feel stagnant because you've neutered the very part of your psyche designed for survival and dominance. You are fighting with one hand tied behind your back because you're afraid of the person you might become if you let go. In psychology, the shadow is the repository of everything we deem unacceptable. Society labels these traits toxic because they are difficult to control, but power is never found in the acceptable. The transformation of traits. Aggression becomes decisiveness. Obsession becomes expertise. Arrogance becomes unshakable confidence. Manipulation becomes strategic influence. The trait isn't the problem, the application is. When you suppress a trait, it stays raw and chaotic. When you integrate it, it becomes a precision tool. Consider the executive labeled impossible to work with. He was abrasive, demanded perfection, and ignored social norms. In a standard corporate setting, he's an HR nightmare, but in a crisis, he's the only one who can save the company. While others were collaborating their way into bankruptcy, he used his disagreeableness to cut through the noise. He didn't care about being liked, he cared about being right. His toxicity was the only thing standing between the organization and total collapse. He didn't change his trait, he found the environment where that trait was the only thing that mattered. To weaponize your shadow, follow this 4-stage framework. The inventory. List the 3 things people criticize you for most. These are your raw materials. The decoupling. Separate the energy of the trait from the negative behavior. For example, if you are manipulative, the energy is understanding human triggers. The behavior is deception. The recontextualization. Identify a high-stakes environment where that specific energy is required. Where is coldness a virtue? Where is obsession a requirement? Controlled release. Practice using the trait in short, intentional bursts. Do not let the trait use you. You use the trait. The ultimate version of you is a lie designed to keep you manageable. The version of you that wins is the version that accepts the darkness. There is a profound peace that comes with no longer being at war with yourself. When you stop hiding, you start performing. Your shadow isn't a demon to be exorcised. It's a bodyguard waiting for orders. The elite 1% aren't better than you. They're just more integrated. They have stopped asking for permission to be powerful. But integration is only half the battle. Once you unlock the shadow, you face a new problem: the predator's gaze. If you have the tools to win, how do you ensure you don't become the very thing you used to fear? That is a conversation for next time.